Welcome to the R Readiness Lens podcast, where we're focused on numbers and driven by results. I'm your host, Sheri Radler, and each week we'll take a closer look at practical ways to get your business ready for what's next. From firm planning for the upcoming quarter to finding the right health insurance for your team. Whether you're a small or mid-sized business owner looking for advisory support or just want to better understand your numbers, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to R Readiness Lens. I'm Sheri Radler, and today we're reframing one of the most misunderstood parts of running your business, clean financials. Look, too many business owners treat their financial statements like a chore. It's a task. It's a compliance item. We only need it for the tax return. But the truth is, your financials aren't a task. They're not about taxes. And most of the time, they're not truly about the bookkeeping. They are the strategy layer that undermines and underlies every decision you're ever going to make in your business. When you step back and think about it, most businesses are not scaling because of luck. They're scaling because they have reached a point of readiness. They have mapped the journey, they have determined where they're at, and they have figured out where they want to go, and now they are making those steps forward. So as we go into these decisions, if your numbers are messy, your books are messy. If your books are messy, your strategy is messy. Because strategy always begins with figuring out where you're going. What are you trying to build? Do you need more time, more margin, a team, an exit? What are we trying to do with this? So let's step back. Over the last couple episodes, we have taken time to look at our readiness lens. We understand that readiness isn't just about exits. It's about clarity, control, and understanding the options we have within our business. We've talked about the chutes and the ladders in our business, those opportunities that allow us to level up, and those issues that happen that set us back and keep us from moving forward as streamlined as we could. We've talked about owner dependency. We've talked about whether or not we are actually driving our business forwards, or if we are really the constraint and the bottleneck that are slowing things down for us. And last episode, we took the time, we issued out the readiness test, and hopefully you've had the opportunity to go through it, ask yourself those questions, and determine, are you the driver, are you the bottleneck, or do you truly are in a blind spot? Because now we want to look at this data. What is it reflecting back to you? Because most businesses don't fail because they had a bad idea. They fail because they didn't know where they were starting, where they were trying to go, and they got lost along the journey. So your financial statements are answering the first question. Where am I coming from? What's my starting point? Because no one can give you directions without knowing that. If you ask me how to get to New York, I've got to ask, put it in context. Are we driving? Are we flying? Are we getting a train? Are you leaving from where? Kentucky, California, Kalamazoo. So that is understanding where we're coming from is the first layer of understanding where we're going. So with this understanding, this becomes our navigation system. And it's helping us answer those questions of, can we afford this next hire? What's draining the cash? Are we selling our item at the right price? Because financials are allowing us to put into context what is happening in our world so that we have that information to make the decisions that will drive our business. Let's ground this with one of the most important truths in business. Revenue is vanity. Profit, you start getting some sanity, and cash is reality. Revenue makes you feel good. You can stand on the golf course and say, I sold 1.5 million in widgets. Great. What did it cost you? What's your bottom line? Because if your bottom line and your costs are 1.1, I'm not as impressed. So what is our profit? Profit tells you whether or not the model you're running makes sense. But truthfully, cash is telling you what you're doing and the cycle in which you're doing it. Can you survive long term running this track in your business? And you can't understand any of this without understanding your financial statement trinity. There's 3 financial statements that are pivotal that you must understand to have an idea so that you can understand what is happening in your business. The first of it is your profit and loss, also known as your income statement. And that's really what it is. This is what we're selling, our revenue. This is the costs it takes us to deliver this. And these are the costs and the overhead and other costs associated to run our business. All of this flows directly down to a bottom line in your net income. That bottom line only goes 3 places. It stays in your business. It pays down debt, or it leaves your business as some type of a distribution out to the owner, the partner, a dividend to a shareholder. So once we understand what our profit and loss is showing us and we get to that bottom line, we do move to that balance sheet. Where the profit and loss was showing us activity over a period of time, the balance sheet is showing us as of a specific point in time. As of this moment in time, it answers, what do we own? What are the assets? What do we have that is cash or we can turn into cash? What do we owe? Who do we owe money to? Who has the ability to reach into our pockets and say, me first? And third, the equity. What is left over after that? Your profit from the P&L lands here. Assets grow, debts reduce, distributions go out the door. So the balance sheet is actually the scorecard of every decision you have ever made in your business. The third financial statement in the Trinity is one that is lesser known and often not paid attention to, but it is the critical measure. Because the cash flow statement is telling you as you are running your operations and you're running your business, how are you getting that grease? How are you getting that cash to allow you to survive? Is it coming from your operations? Hey, we are doing our business, we are collecting our money, and our world continues to go. Or are we having to invest into our business? Owner capital, owner investment. Or are we having to go out and take on debt and take on financing in order to come into this? Not all debt and financing is bad. Some of it is long-term investment into assets, things like that. But we do want to always know what is the grease that is running the engine in which our business runs. So we've talked about what the Trinity is and why coming into clean financials are. So they are the driver of all the decisions. They are the report card telling you how those decisions shook out. But they're also what they actually unlock for you. They unlock the ability to make better decisions. You stop guessing. Your team stops guessing. You know what you have the insights, you have the information right there available to you, and you're no longer asking questions, I wonder what happened, because we can look right in and say, well, this is exactly what occurred. You have better cash flow control. When you have financial reports that let you see the movement of cash, wow, our AR, our clients are starting to take a little longer to pay us, but our vendors still want their funds right on time. You start seeing those gaps as they occur through your world. Clean financials also give you better funding opportunities. If you have to go to a bank, you want to invest in your business, any type of thing like that, how clean your books are is a perception of how you're going to be viewed and the lending and credit opportunities available to you. It's going to get you a better valuation. Should your phone ever ring and some opportunity come and they're like, hey, first question's going to be, are you interested? And when you say maybe, second question's going to be, great. Sign this NDA, send us 3 years of your financials, and we'll talk to you. Well, if you have to say, well, you know what, it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get my books right, your valuation starts ticking down. You want to be prepared. You want to be ready. You want to be able to jump on to these opportunities as they occur. And the silent one, it's going to allow us as business owners just to better sleep at night. That mental load of worry, of wondering, is the decisions you're making right? Are the cash available for tomorrow? Is payroll coming in next week and the funds are here for it? When you are not having to guess and wonder and worry, you will have a better sleep at night. So clean books allow you to answer those questions. Can we hire that next person? Can we expand? Do we need to raise our prices? Or are we making a good margin on what we're doing? Are we scalable? Can I take a couple weeks off? These are what clean books help us get to. So clean books, when we talk about the readiness lens, clean financials are the first rung on the ladder of which we're going to be growing. Clean books, if you are ever wanting to scale, borrow, hire, attract investors, bring on a partner, or ultimately exit, every single one of those, the first rung is clean financials. Your books have to be ready before you're ready to make any of these decisions. Your financials have to be clean before you can belly up to the table and say, I want to do any of these. And the thing is, this is not something you come to the day you're like, I might want a partner. These are the ongoing, everyday, early actions that you're just taking to keep your financial house in order so you are ready when this happens. You're operating with readiness if you can answer yes to these questions. I trust my numbers. I understand my numbers. I understand my margins. I know my cash runway. I even know what my runway is. I know my top 3 revenue drivers. I can hand my books over to a buyer tomorrow, and my financials reduce my stress and rather than increasing it. These are what we're trying to achieve on this first rung of the ladder. And one of the misconceptions that I want to kind of clear up right here, when I say clean, I am not saying perfect. These do not have to be to the penny every single day, but they have to be accurate. They have to be timely. They have to be categorized, reconciled reviews. You have to have the confidence that you can trust the information in front of you. You understand that the numbers are presenting the results of the reality in which you're operating. And it means that you can look at them yourselves or to an outside partner and be confident that the story that they draw off those books is the story that you're actually living in your business. So what are some of the actions that you should be taking every day, every week, every month, every quarter to keep those books clean? Well, first of all, we want to close your books every month. This is not optional. We want to talk and act like we are a corporate business mindset. This is not the entrepreneurial, run it out of our back pocket and like we're crazy town. We are running a business here. And that running business means that we are going to reconcile our books every single month. And that is every account on the balance sheet. It's cash, it is credit cards, it is loans. Everything on your balance sheet ties out to a third-party statement somewhere. Take the time and look at those and make sure this information is being split. I cannot tell you how often we come in and look at books and we can see things, hey, we have huge accounts receivable numbers, but deposits over on the P&L. You have entries over in your payroll liabilities account that were accrued by your tax group 5 years ago and have never been touched since. So you have phantom numbers hiding on these balance sheets. But that balance sheet is that scorecard you're presenting to the world. They think you owe it. They think you own it. They think it is due to you. And if this information is not an accurate representation, when you have to go back and explain that, it calls into question every other piece of information you have provided to anyone. You want to make sure you separate your operations, your payroll, your taxes, your owner draws. These are separate things and are reported separately in your books. How you get paid, how your people get paid can differ on your business structure. So make sure that is being reported properly depending on how your business is set up. Using classes, locations, divisions where in your business you have those separations. Maybe different facilities, different states, different revenue lines. Understanding that you're going to want to track information related to them separately. Have a second set of eyes. The person that does the books generally should also have someone else that helps review them. If you have an accountant or an admin doing your books and you are the reviewer, great. If you are the reviewer, sometimes you can get number blind. We don't see because we see what we think was supposed to be there. So review the numbers with someone else. Review them with your tax person. Walk them through logically with your spouse. This is what this is, and let them ask the natural questions that come to them, because that's going to open up a lot of and highlight some of those variations. When they ask that question and you click in and you're like, oh, you're right. That's been there for a couple of years now. Use your financial package. Review the information you're been given. Don't treat it like a gym membership that you never walk in. We give packages out every single month to our clients, and I cannot tell you how often we'll be talking to one, and they're like, I never even look at it. Well, this is telling you something. So it's like sometimes you're trying to get your eye over here. So yes, we look at the information because we want you to ask questions. We want you to understand the information we're given because we are wanting you to improve. Get ready. Get to that next rung on that ladder. So clean financials aren't the work that we're doing. There's what's done to allow the rest of the work to happen. Because the more clearly you see your numbers, the more clearly you see your business. And when you're building the financial information, you're building the insights you need to make those decisions. We're mapping this journey. We're preparing for today, and we're backstopping for when that something happens, whether it's that opportunity or that crisis. Financial immaturity feels busy. Financial readiness feels calm. Immaturity reacts. Readiness plans. So clean books are designed to give you back that clarity, that time, and that openness to options to use as leverage as you're plotting this journey and going to these next steps. They're letting you make decisions with confidence rather than hope. So if you treat your financials like a task, they're going to be that. If you treat them like a chore, they're going to be that. But if you treat them as something valuable, that they bring something to the table, reframe your mindset and understand that the information they're providing you is critical and they can help you springboard forward. Your financials can really become a ladder as you're on your play in this group. So for today, I'm going to thank you for joining us on this conversation about our financials and why the financials are not just a concept. They are not for compliance. They are actually the first rung of our readiness journey. And next time, we're going to take this forward and we're going to talk about how we go from the scorekeeping and what they're telling us to start building some of the strategy of using this information to start plotting out those points on the map of where we're going. So we're going to talk about how controllership changes the game. Look forward to you next time. Thanks for joining me on the R Readiness Lens podcast. If you found this episode helpful, connect with me on LinkedIn and follow along on Instagram for more tips and resources. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, be sure to rate the podcast and subscribe so you never miss an upcoming episode. Until next time, keep your numbers clear and your goals in focus.